No, with a regular size ball.
No, the regular, it was, yes, the ball was regular size, but it was a little bit deflated, so I could
okay.
Listen, I can palm a basketball. That's
you're getting defensive.
But but when you get
right, okay, I believe you, bud. Nothing to prove here, man. Look at you. They asked, could you dunk? Now you're wearing the hand size.
Rim. How about that?
Okay.
I could get rim.
There you go.
I do think how do you think the new lineup looked last night for the Warriors? Okay. Back to Wiggins.
I do got one question about the new lineup.
Remind me what it was again?
Pod, Clay, Steph, Looney, and Kuminga.
Okay.
I was telling Evan this.
Go ahead.
I'm a Podziemski fan, and I love it. I saw him in college.
He's my guy.
Okay, he's our guy. But if you're Moses Moody, and I'm not being selfish, I kind of think I should be starting.
Well,
I know Podziemski can rebound and pass.
Yeah.
I might say a little better than that's easy to say. He passes and rebounds better than Moody. That's why he's starting. But I just was thinking like, damn, shouldn't Moody get that?
Well, I'll just tell you what I think.
Yeah.
And it's just what I think. What do you want? What's he want? This is unsettling.
Steiny?
Yes.
Can I say something to you?
This is the boss.
I love him.
Do you care what you look like?
Oh, boy.
He know who he's asking.
Sometimes.
I do.
Yes, I do. Okay.
You do care,
I
right?
do care what I look like.
Do you know that when you stand up, that your head gets cut off in the middle of your eyes on YouTube and Twitch?
Wow.
There's a lot of people watching that. Like I think you're a relatively good-looking guy, but when your head gets cut off and you can't see your forehead and your eyes, it looks a little strange.
How can I help?
Don't stand up.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're so fidgety. People liking that he get on the YouTube chat. But you got ADD.
Nobody.
You got radio ADD. Look at it. Veggie Delight.
I do look pretty good. I got to admit.
Well, not to the lady on bar.
No, God.
Oh, boy.
Do you know? I should have never told that story. My daughters thought that was so funny.
I bet.
They thought that was so funny.
We would have had a convo. What do you mean by that?
Hey,
go ahead.
Warriors lost last night to the Clippers, but there's so much going on, obviously, with Draymond Green, indefinite suspension. But there's something going on with Steve Kerr and Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, man.
And it relates to Steph Curry, and I want to play this because I think it's interesting. Let's start with what Stephen A. Smith said yesterday about Steph Curry. Take a listen.
Want to go there, let's go there. What about Steph Curry? You are the leader. If this were a teammate of LeBron James, we'd be asking LeBron, what you going to do about it? Even though LeBron isn't the one that did something like that. We would have been asking. We would have been pointing to his leadership. We've been pointing to the incredible role model that he is, the leader, the champion, the kind of impact and influence that he has. And we lean on all of those things to say LeBron, 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 even if it had nothing to do with LeBron. But somehow, some way, we never asked that question about the babyface assassin who's the greatest shooter on the planet Earth, who's a 4-time champion and a 2-time league MVP, who, by the way, is class personified, and I can't think of a greater role model than Steph Curry. Remember the fight at the Garden between the Knicks and the Miami Heat when Jeff Van Gundy was grabbing Alonzo Mourning's leg? Mm-hmm. What, after Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson had gotten into it? Pat Riley gets in the middle of all of that. Helps.
All right, so he's basically saying if we were in L.A. and Draymond Green were a Laker, LeBron James would be getting asked about Draymond Green all the time. Steph, what are you going to do? So I'm assuming that Steve Kerr heard this because after the game last night, here's what Steve Kerr said.
You know, Steph is as good of a leader as I've ever been around. I mean, the guy is an amazing human being, and what he's done the past decade in leading this team through all of the ups and the downs and the turmoil, for anybody to question Steph Curry's leadership, it's actually it's kind of sickening to me, you know. And I saw some of that yesterday. It was disgusting. talking about one of the finest human beings I have ever been around. And but that's the climate that we live in. And these guys, part of all of this is just the climate we live in and the arrows that are, slung at these guys and the judgment, the criticism. That's fine, but it's part of it, and it's not easy. We're all human beings. And
so he's clearly referring to Stephen A. Smith. So
he says sickening.
Sickening. So clearly, Stephen A. Smith probably didn't say anything after that. He probably gave in, right? I apologize. Apologize to Steve Kerr. Anybody else who may have been offended? Well, let's take a listen, Stephen.
This was from earlier today. It's pretty long, so bear with us. It's a few minutes.
Oh.
This is the problem, okay? No. You can leave me up on the split screen with everybody, please. This is the problem, okay? Steve Kerr, no one is questioning Steph Curry as a leader. What we said was, quote, if that were LeBron James, we would have said, where are you? So in this particular instance, we're not talking about behind the scenes. We're talking out front and center. We were asking Steph Curry, where are you on this? Because you're such a great leader. Because you're such a phenomenal individual. Because you're the closest thing to perfection that I think most of us have ever seen as a professional athlete. We're asking about the impact that you've seemingly been unable to have on a teammate who loves and reveres you like Draymond Green. But Steve Kerr twisted it. Because we want to sit up there. He wanted, I don't even want to use the words. You understand that I'm tempted to in terms of him fawning over Steph Curry. We all fawn over Steph Curry. Why would you try to twist it like that? You trying to tell me that Steph Curry's not a human being? That every single thing about him is absolutely positively perfect, that we can't sit here while revering him and respecting him and appreciating everything about him. We can't simply sit here and say, yo, you of all people, you might be able to have an impact on Draymond Green. Whether we're right or wrong in that, I'm just talking about speculating about that because of the phenomenal person, athlete, professional that Steph Curry has proven to be. If I'm looking at Draymond, who is Draymond hurting most? He's hurting Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry is so great still that without Draymond Green, he's out on the court without his guy, which hurts him. That's the point that we were making. But Steve Kerr twisted up. And that's the problem that I have with him, and people let him get away with that because he's such a good man and he's a top 5 coach of all time in my estimation, and he is a good man. Everybody that knows that about Steve Kerr is a good man. He's decent. He's conscientious. He's a leader. He's a winner on every level. We know what he's been through in his life. The fact that he is the human being that he is, we revere him too. But from time to time, we might ask a question about Steve Kerr. It's disgusting to ask a question. That's a problem. And he's talking about the days that we're living in and all of this stuff and clickbait. My brother, you didn't say my name, but I don't need clickbait. We've been number 1 12 years. With or without YouTube, with or without social media, been number 1. Period. Number 1. Month over month, week over week, year over year for 12 consecutive years. I don't need no damn clicks. We're on a national television show, which you used to do, Steve Kerr, because he was calling games. You in TV?
Yeah,
come on now. Just stop that nonsense.
Well, Steph spoke after the game.
About how lousy of a leader he is? Or
No.
For allowing
I'm all over on this.
Yeah,
man.
you really are.
I did want to hear from Steph vocally, and I said that a couple of days ago when it popped off. But I was talking to Norm, and at the end of the day, Steiny, I brought it up, Evan. It was a bad analogy. If him and I went out, and I was acting a fool, Evan, and I was acting a fool, and, we did it 4 or 5 times. Evan can't, he don't have a remote control, and we don't know what Steph is doing to Draymond. He is hurting him on the court and hurting the team, but at the end of the day, you can't control another grown man. I guess I was like Stephen A. just asking, Steph, I'd like not to condemn him, but I guess I would just say what Dre did wasn't cool. Something to where it's not just unicorns and rainbows.
All right, so you're saying Steph did get asked something similar last night after the game.
He was asked about Draymond specifically. Here's what he had to say.
I know there's questions on what the suspension actually means time-wise and all that. And conversations we had yesterday were about him, personally, and making sure the focus is getting right, getting, on a path that's going to allow him to be who he needs to be as a person, as a man, father, husband, and a basketball player in that order. And that's going to, that journey is going to be challenging, but we're all here to support him and try to hold it down while he's gone. So, it's a tough situation all the way around, but we are capable of getting through it, himself included. I don't know, like the program or the requirements or the things that he needs to do, but I'm here as a friend and a support to kind of lean in on being there for him, whatever that means. Yesterday was a conversation for us as a team to understand, where we currently are, where we're trying to go, and holding each other accountable, holding Draymond accountable to, what's been going on and what needs to change for, us to be right as a team, like I said, with him involved in that. But, every day is a new challenge, literally, and that's going to be something that we have to, be able to be support for him.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like a leader to me.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't give you what you wanted.
Right. And he don't have to. Like, who am I? I just, again, I guess I'm not looking for blood. I'm just looking at a 10-14 team, 3 games out of the 10th spot. The final.
Are they that close?
Yeah, they're that close. But I guess Steiny and Evan, I'm just looking for Draymond was wrong. And I'm not getting it from Coach Kerr. Now, Coach Kerr did say that about Rudy Gobert, and I appreciated it. It shocked us. Remember, he took some time to think about it, said he re-looked at the video. Draymond held on to him long. So I guess I was just hoping Steph would, and hoping is strong, just kind of, what Draymond is doing, he can't continue. But he's looking after his brother, his friend, and he said that's what this is about, and he itemized it, what's most important. So maybe there is something going off. What if Draymond's dealing with off the court?
What if Steph Curry told Draymond that to his face? Dude, what are you doing? You're wrong. You got to cut this out. But he didn't want to do it at a podium.
And he's never done it because there's been so many transgressions. I guess that's what Stephen A. and company were wanting. Would that be suffice for LeBron if he were in Steph's shoes? Or would we say, LeBron, you ain't no leader because you ain't publicly said anything? There's no doubt they've talked. And maybe Curry has done that. And maybe some out there could say, Guru, Stephen A., or whoever, it's none of your business. But it is eager to see where this thing goes, man.
So whose side are you on? Kerr
I'm
or
on
Stephen A. Smith? No shade, though.
No, I kind of retired that.
No, actually, you didn't. You used it earlier.
I would be on.
You said it 3 times today. No shade at Buster Posey.
Oh, well, thank you.
No shade at Buster Posey, but what an ass.
You know what? I guess I'm on Stephen A.'s side that I publicly want somebody to come out and just say Draymond was wrong. Now, I know he's going to get the help, and he's your brother, and I get all that, but I guess, Steiny, at this juncture, where he's left this team, and some are saying they could be done, I ain't pissed off as I'm going to be if this thing doesn't get turned around before he's back. And I think that just comes with, if I were Draymond Green, Evan and Steiny, I would tell Steph, please, the next time you talk into a microphone, because I know you love me, is unconditional. Just for the sake of the jackals out there, just say you were disappointed in my actions. That's how this would have went. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's doing that, and I get it. And it's their fraternity. It's their brotherhood. They've been through the battles. But everything is just soft nature with Draymond's going to come back. And I get it. But, man, the fan base and the Warriors are left 10-14 with a bunch of games left. Who knows how many without them? You deserve some public criticism.
I don't know if I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I know you can't compare all things to all things, but I really don't. If I'm in the my Guru, hey, Steiny, what do you think about Guru? Hey, man, Guru and I have worked together forever. Nobody's perfect. I've certainly made mistakes. He's certainly made mistakes.
What number of infraction is this?
I just don't like.
Is that the third infraction 4 years ago?
No, what I'm saying is,
you know what I mean? We are at a point now to where, this is the umpteenth time. That's why people
I gotta come up to the mic
more.
I got to come up to the mic and go,
well, you don't got to.
Guru was an ass, or Guru was wrong. Right. Like, I wouldn't do that.
You know what?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
You just said something about Buster Posey and the phrase I hate. You and Evan. Perception is reality. So
what do you hate
give
about
me this, Steiny.
Okay.
The perception is Draymond Green. The Warriors are afraid of Draymond Green.
Okay.
And I know that not to be the case.
Well, you don't know that not to be the case.
I don't feel like they're.
You don't know that not to be the case.
I cannot drink water thinking that they're afraid of Draymond. No one man is bigger than any organization. So that's why I'm yearning for the public just one time. You know, Dre was wrong. That's like, give it to me. You think they're afraid? I'm asking. Do you think they're afraid of? If I said that's the public perception, would you say, "Goo, you're wrong"? And I think that's what Stephen A. is not saying, but they're saying it. Like, I mean, is this guy running? Can he do it? Is he above everybody?
Who?
Draymond Green. I ask you, do you think the Warriors as an organization are afraid of Draymond Green?
Yes. Like,
that bothers my soul.
I'm sorry, but it's overstated a little bit, I think. I mean, I don't think they're walking around with bulletproof vests.
But you know what I mean.
But yes, I think Draymond Green's the type of guy that when he walks into the gym, everybody looks at him and says, I wonder what he's like today.
Oh, man.
And yes, I do think there are probably certain people in the organization that are afraid of him. Now, I don't know.
Well, not that. But
what do you mean, but not that?
I'm talking about publicly to say that he's wrong.
You cannot dismiss that there may be people in that organization who are afraid of him physically because of what he did to Jordan Poole.
Okay. Hey,
that's a possibility.
So
when you say, do you think,
so does that follow you, that fear, if you're right to the microphone?
What?
Does that follow you to the microphone to where the person, if you're physically afraid of them, you can't say that Draymond Green was wrong? Or Kevon Looney, forget Steph Curry, it could be anybody. I'm disappointed in Dre's actions. He left us for dead. We're going to be without him. Our season's in the balance. Like, that's not over the top, like, criticism. I feel like any guy that did what Draymond Green has done, that's just par for the course for public scrutiny, and he's not getting any of that. Everything is, again, to me, from my vantage point, what I'm hearing
public scrutiny?
Is kids. I'm talking about from his teammates.
But that's like
what?
I would not go public with a criticism of you. I just wouldn't.
And maybe that's
it would make me uncomfortable.
And maybe that's why I haven't changed whatever I was doing. Because you guys want to give me that tough love.
Well, okay,
but you don't know that we've given him time. But maybe when we finish the show today, I'm like, what the hell was that?
No doubt. But it's different. It hits different.
Why do I need to prove to somebody else?
Evan, I'm coming to you. But it hits different when you say it publicly.
To whom?
To the people that are listening.
But what about to Draymond and you and that relationship?
Well, I'll tell you, how's that worked out so far, Matt?
They won 4 titles. That's the answer.
No. How has that worked out? He keeps making infractions. There's your answer. He's not stopped.
Oh, so one public admonition 10 years ago, Draymond be an entirely different person.
I wonder.
No, you wouldn't. But go ahead. Yeah. Listen, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
But the idea of you want a teammate of his, a coworker, to chastise him or to criticize him publicly.
Yeah.
No, I just you're one of the most loyal people that I know, if not the most loyal person. I appreciate
that, Evan.
If Steiny was getting dragged publicly by everyone, not inside this building, I have a hard time believing that you would step to the mic and drag him as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might do it behind closed doors, you might do it off the mic, but I don't think that you would pile on because everyone else has already piled on. Like, the last 48 hours, what have we talked about? How terrible of a leader Draymond is, how he doesn't deserve this, how he's ruined that. I just, asking the one guy that's been in his corner for 15 years or 12 years, however long they've been together, to step to the mic and drag him even more, I think is asking a little bit too much. And maybe I'm wrong. But.
No, man, that's a hell of a one, Evan. And also here on the text line, Guru, name one other player who's criticized a teammate like you're talking about. So, it ain't just Golden State. man. Hey, I don't have the answers. I just know what I haven't heard, and I feel like that's what those guys were saying that has not been. Hey, Steiny, can I sit up here and tell you with a straight face that would fix Draymond and they would have no issues? No, but I do know this. This man assaulted with a hell of a right-hand punch in front of the world his own teammate, and not one person called him out for that.
Hold on
the team.
Really?
Yeah.
What did Kevon Looney say yesterday?
I'm not talking.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
He's got to earn the trust back.
Well, what do you mean by calling him out?
Like, this can't happen, Steiny. You can't hit Evan like that. That's not who we are. And then not to suspend him goes back to my premise of he's beaten to his own drum, and that's fine. But let's not be shocked when things like this happen, because I think you or Evan saying something about working with me or something I did on social media.
Let me tell you what I would do.
Hurt me 100 times more than anything.
Why would I want to hurt you? You're my teammate.
But
You're my friend.
Yeah,
why would I want to hurt you?
But don't I deserve something? You know what I mean?
And I'll give it to you in private if it's reached that level. That's just me. Like I
guess my next question to
you're
you
right,
all
there's no right or wrong, but
why are we here? Why do you think we're still here? You mentioned the fear factor. That's possible.
I
don't know. With Draymond. And the fact that I'm just bringing up a thought that I have about he's never really verbally been checked, which is so easy, because Kevon Looney could have said something more harsh, and I think Draymond would have been, I know, Looney, you still my dog. You didn't hang me out to dry, but it's almost like, I guess and it's easy for me to say, I'm just the type of guy that would give you two the license. If I did something that egregious, guys, I would almost want you to say about the action, Guru was wrong in this instance. And you know what that would be when I read it, or I'd be at home by myself thinking about what I did and I'm not with my brothers. That's the least I can do. I deserve that. And that's just me, Evan. That's just how I think.
Well, no,
man.
I mean, I think real quickly, though, before we got to break, the LeBron James part of this is also interesting to me, too, because I think LeBron can call people out because he's not close with them in a way that Steph is with Draymond. Like, I've never heard LeBron James call out Dwayne Wade or call out Carmelo Anthony.
And Kendrick Perkins today said,
or call out his best friends.
LeBron doesn't do that. When stuff flies and it's off the court, not involving him, he ain't Martin Luther King. Like,
he'll call out the 10th man on the bench. Wow. He won't call out his boy. He won't call out Anthony Davis.
And I love Dre, Steiny. It's just, I guess if we remove the names and this were the Beatles or a great new addition, the R&B group, when a guy or gal does wrong and they keep doing it, I just don't think nobody's above their loved one saying, you know what, Steiny, my boy Steiny was wrong. He's getting it together. He'll be back. We'll be back. And that, I just feel like I hadn't heard a lot of that.
I'll tell you right now, Goo, I would never do that to you in a million years.